Hi everybody, my name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator and I am on a mission to learn 52 accents by April 17th, 2016. We go to accent number 15 in the series, Swedish. This one has been a bit of a challenge. Why? Because even though I like to learn my accents in broad strokes, figure out what the essential levers are that make the accent distinct, and then you can dial them back and listen to more nuanced versions of the accent on YouTube. Well, I've been searching for the accent levers on YouTube, and the people from Sweden who have been giving interviews have such excellent English, it's almost impossible for me to detect what these levers are. And then on the other side, you've got the stereotypes, which you don't really want to be mimicking, but the you're seeing from Sweden, yeah, type of thing, which is like the Swedish chef on the Muppets. We want broad strokes, we don't want caricature. So between David Alan Stern's acting with an accent lessons and the bits and pieces that I've been able to hear on YouTube, here is what I've gleaned as tips for the Swedish accent. Here's a sampling of 5. Okay, first of all, a very cavernous sound in the back of the mouth, but unlike German where you have the cavernous sound and you drop your R's at the ends of the words, or if a word is coming in there in the middle, an R is coming in there from the middle or the beginning, it's a sound. In Swedish, you want to try for a regular R sound, but keep the broadness in the back of the mouth. So you keep the hard R. So the lyric, I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. In German, we would do, I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. In Swedish, what I'm finding is helpful is, I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. That sounds more like it to my ear. Principle number 2, with those cavernous ahs and aw's sound, those broadened open vowel sounds, I'm trying to translate what that becomes with some of the open sounds, like or o or ow or aw. So here's what I've come up with. Becomes ah. So instead of I just hit town, it becomes I just hit town. So the o or the ow becomes an aw. And then my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. It becomes my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. Give it a try. I think it might work for you. All right, number 3, very simple one. The j sound becomes a y. So instead of mid-July, it becomes mid-July. Principle number 4, very simple again. The W becomes a V. So instead of I knew the snake was my own sweet dad, it becomes I knew the snake was my own sweet dad. And principle number 5, the U sound. So, you've got in English the U sound that in Swedish would become an EU, and I'm illustrating that by E, U, E, very, very small E at the end, but it becomes sort of an U. So instead of my name is Sue, it becomes my name is Sue. Also the sound that we have in English, like look or foot or put, likewise becomes an U. So instead of bent and crooked, it becomes bent and crooked. All right, let's see how this all might come together in Shel Silverstein's lyrical masterpiece made famous by Johnny Cash.
It was Gellenville in mid-July. I just hit town and my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop inside somewhere for a brew. It was an odd saloon on a street of mud, and there at a table dealing stud was the dirty, mangy dog that named me Sue. I knew the snake was my unsweet dad. From a worn-out picture my mother had, I saw his scar and his evil eye. He was bent and crooked and grey and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, my name is Sue. How do you do? You're going to die. Well, I hit him hard between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, he came up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. But I bashed a chair across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I tell you, I fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. And I heard him laugh and I heard him curse when he reached for his gun and I pulled mine first. And he stood and looked at me and I saw him smile. He said, Son, the world is rough, and if a man's going to make it, he's got to be tough, and I knew I wouldn't be there to see you along. So I gave you that name and I said goodbye, and I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and it's that there name that made you strong. Now you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me and you got the right to kill me, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your guts and the spit in your eye, because I'm the expletive that named you Sue. Well, I got chalked up and threw down my gun. I called him Pa, he called me son, and I came away with a different point of view. And I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever have a son, I think I'll call him Bill or George, anything but Sue. Still hate that name.
Lyrics to A Boy Named Sue are by the great Shel Silverstein, and the music is performed in public domain availability by the versatile and generous Kevin MacLeod. Next week is going to be accent number 16, authentic Down East Maine. Not industry standard Down East Maine, but authentic Down East Maine. In the meantime, you, the viewer, get to have some fun. Comment below, you never know. Ask for a song, ask for an accent, it may pop out on the other side. I've got a lot of these things to go. In the meantime, rock on.